Hello, and welcome to this episode of The Next Page. The Next Page is a program created and sponsored by the Wayne County Literacy Coalition in conjunction this year, sponsored also by Birth to Five. The mission of the coalition and of Birth to Five is to promote literacy in all of its forms throughout Wayne County. Joining me for this part of the show is Alicia Estabrook. She is the literacy coordinator for the Wayne County Literacy Coalition, and the other hat that she wears, and the one she'll be moving around for us today, is as, and I hope I get this right, or maybe I'll give you a promotion, Recreation Coordinator at the Richmond Parks Department?
Yes, I am.
Wonderful.
That's exactly what I do. So.
And Alicia, you're an amazing woman because you do juggle those two roles very well.
Thank you.
We appreciate having your gifts in both of these dimensions of our community. So let me take this opportunity to publicly thank you on the show for all that you do for us.
I appreciate that. I try really hard in both of those categories to do the best I can.
Well, now we're going to put you on the hot seat.
Okay, I'm ready.
Now that you've got the accolades, here's what we need to know from you today. So thank you for joining us on The Next Page. We've been working here on the show on the literacy of wellness, and we've heard from a lot of different experts and advisors about how to fine-tune our mind, how to fine-tune our spirit, and how to fine-tune our body, and hopefully get all of those working together. So now our viewers want to know, okay, around here, what kinds of events, activities, organizations we can plug into to really mobilize our plan to pursue more health and wellness in our lives?
Well, of course. Okay, so since I work at the Parks Department, I'll tell you about all of our awesome programs that we have. We do a lot of things in the summer. Our summer is our biggest time because it's the best weather. You can be outside. We have a lot of outdoor space, being the Parks Department. So that's when we do a lot of our events and activities. In the summer, we do our outdoor concerts. We do outdoor movies. Those are just little fun events. They're one night a week, and it's a great chance to get outside, get out with your family, with your friends, just have a nice time being with people that you enjoy being around.
Yes.
And it's also a free event, so you don't have to pay anything to go do it.
Excellent.
We do provide concessions, so you can buy something if you want a snack. But those are wonderful events to take advantage of while you're bored on some Saturday night. We also do a kids camp called JUCO. That's probably our most popular thing we do. Last summer, we served over 250 kids almost every single day. It's a completely free program. We do ask for donations because we serve so many children. But it's another thing that gets at least the young ones out and active. We have, it's 1st through 6th grade. We feed them lunch every single day. We go to the pool sometimes. We go on field trips. It's a great thing to get involved in. It's a great way to burn off some energy, get some steam off, and go have fun, make some new friends. We also do some other kids camps. They're not quite as popular, but we do a little JUCO camp, which is for our preschoolers, 3 to 5. We also do an art camp, so some kids get to participate in that, and they enjoy making various things throughout the summer. We do a lot of like canvas work, or we do just work on paper. It depends on which week it is. We try to do a different subject every single week. One week it might be clay, one week it might be mosaic tiles. I'm not sure. It just depends. So we do a lot of kid things like that. We also have events for parents to go out and spend time with their children, where we have the father-daughter walk, and they just go out to the park and take a little walk, and there are games and there's cookies and a lot of fun stuff like that. We also introduced last year the mother-son date night, which was a huge success. We had so many mothers and sons come out for that, so that was a great time to get mothers and sons together and out and active and playing together. So things like that we do every single summer. It's really repetitive. It's great though, because you can always count on those programs to be there. When it comes closer to the fall time, we do our Halloween program, which is always a lot of fun. We see the coolest costumes ever. We also have our Family Fun Fest that we do in South 10th Street Park, which is great. It's a wonderful little park that we recently cleaned up. It looks a lot nicer. We trimmed up some of the trees and reworked some of the sidewalks, so it looks really cool too now. So that's great that we still have that event out there. And in the winter, we also have our annual Celebration of Lights event and our Frostbite 5K, which is part of the Wayne County Challenge, and that's another way to get really involved involved and kind of see Wayne County a little bit more. So there are plenty of opportunities to go out and get involved, to be in Richmond and be involved, to be in the county and be involved, but just be out and enjoy the outdoors.
Oh, it sounds fabulous. And as I was listening to the events like the movie night and the family fun night, even the date nights, I heard walking. Well, I didn't hear walking, but I heard you'll probably be able to get some exercise.
You'll walk around. Yes.
You'll be able to kind of replenish maybe a tired, burned out psyche by having some fun and seeing some friends. And did I hear you say most of this was free?
Most of it is free. We have a couple events here and there where we do ask either for donations or there's a registration fee. But most of the things we do are completely for the community. And being outside, you get the sun, you get to be in the fresh air. It's really great to take that in the summer while you can, because in the winter it's a little bit hard to do that when it's a little bit too cold.
How many parks do we have here in Richmond?
We have 16. We have technically 3 undeveloped sites, but we're also working on our new 7th Street Park.
Oh, talk a little bit about that.
Well, it's great. It's in development right now. We have the plans being laid for it. We've had a couple of community meetings to figure out what people want in it, what people would rather us take out of it. We're trying to really hard to incorporate the farmers market too, because we think that's very important to have in our community. Farmers market will bring in fresh food, fresh produce, and it's a great way to make sure that the farmers are selling some of the things to the local people right here. So we're working very hard to make sure that we have an area specifically designed for them to be able to sell their produce, to sell either their home goods or any other crafty things that they make. But in the design, we also have an area for a stage so that we can either show movies, we can have concerts, we can have actual events in there. It's taking up half of the parking lot that's across the street from Morrison Reeves Library. So it's not taking up all of the parking space. There will still be space to park. And there's also the parking garage right down the street, so people can walk if they can't find a spot. There's always plenty of spaces in the parking garage. So it'll be wonderful once it's finished. It's just going to take a little bit of time to get there. So I'm really excited for everything that we'll be doing down there.
Oh, that just sounds perfect. A great central location.
Yes.
A lot of ambient parking, so lots of folks can come. There is a great population around that area that it's kind of a walking population. I envy folks who live around there who can just hop out, walk downtown. We have a beautiful downtown area, always something going on. So again, 16 parks and growing, right?
And growing.
Wow,
and
wonderful.
Actually, we're trying to go ahead and incorporate that new 7th Street Park that we'll be doing. So we haven't obviously broken any ground yet on that. We haven't done anything to change it. We have all these ideas laid out. We've been working with all of our contractors and everything so far, but we're already trying to get people used to the idea that will be a park. So the Meltdown Festival will be held there this year.
Oh, beautiful. Tell us a little bit about the Meltdown Festival.
The Meltdown is a collaboration between a lot of different groups and organizations, sometimes even local businesses. But the Meltdown is a great way to be involved in the winter, which is usually very hard to do. But this is an outdoor event. It's awesome. We have ice carvers come in from Texas and Illinois and all over, and they carve magnificent ice sculptures. I don't know how they do it. They use chainsaws and they make angels.
Here in Richmond.
Here in Richmond. It'll be a wonderful event. Leading up to that, we'll have a ton of kids' crafts. We'll have a scavenger hunt. We'll have some contests that kids can participate in. So it'll be very involving still. We'll have plenty of places where people can go and eat and grab some like a hot chocolate or a warm beverage to drink while they're enjoying the night. But the main focus is going to be the ice fights, where we're going to have ice carvers go head to head and fight to see who makes the best ice sculpture.
What month during the year does this happen?
It's going to be the end of January. That's something we did we started it in 2014, and we hope to continue it every year. It was a wonderful thing the first year we did it. It turned out to be way bigger than we ever expected. And we tend to have a lot of good turnout, especially because we have our interactive ice park. Have you heard about this?
No, tell me about it. Do tell.
The interactive ice park is this area that we've set aside so we can make interactive pieces of ice. So Mostly the kids like to go, but sometimes the adults go too. I will admit, I went down the ice slide myself. But we have a slide set up that's completely made out of ice. We have a tic-tac-toe board. We have a skee ball board. We have a ping pong table out of ice. In 2014, we had a throne too, so that the children or adults could go sit in the throne and have their photo taking too. So the interactive ice park is one of the coolest things because you actually get to be really interactive with it and participate and enjoy it. And who really likes ice that much? You didn't think you liked it until this event.
I think that sounds like one of the best winter wellness activities I could think of, because just to remind our viewers, you do burn more calories in the cold because you're trying to stay warm.
Yes.
So, and again, it sounds like we'd be walking.
Yes, you definitely would be walking.
Is fabulous.
And you'd have to warm up that way too. So walk to the next place to warm up. We'll have warming stations, and you can go from each place, and each place will have something new to do, something new to learn about, and it'll be a way to discover the Uptown and Depot areas.
Alicia, is there an expense or a cost, an admission fee for the Ice Festival?
No. There is not.
Oh my, so that's wonderful. Will the refreshments, though, maybe I should bring a few bucks if I'm going to want that hot chocolate or want that snack?
Refreshments will not be provided. They'll be sold by local businesses around the area. So if you want to buy stuff like that, that's fine. But the actual event of the ice sculptors or the interactive park, completely free.
So when the ice begins to thaw and the meltdown happens and spring begins to bloom in Richmond, which it will, we want to give our viewers hope. Spring will come.
I want hope too.
Talk a little bit about what happens in parks. Now we're going to call them 17 parks. We'll go ahead and throw that in there. What happens in the spring?
We have a lot of things going on in our mind. We are planning for all of our summer stuff coming up. We're specifically getting everything in order for JUCO. That's because that's our biggest thing, so we have to make sure everything's in order. But we do have part of the Parks Department, a wellness coordinator, who is very active in trying to get people out to the park. Sometimes we'll do a fitness class for free in the park.
Ooh, nice.
We always encourage people to come out to the old Glenmiller Golf Course, which is no longer used as a golf course, but it's great to walk on. We have walks out there all the time now. So we just had a diabetes walk a couple of weeks ago. We've had an Alzheimer's walk out there. So it's a great place to go out and walk on your own. There's also always the Cardinal Greenway, which we love to partner with because they're wonderful. So there's plenty of places to get out and get active.
Awesome. If our viewers are watching this today and they know they want to jump in and get involved either in the ice or in the snow, or they're going to wait to jump in the flowers in the spring, how do we contact you? Can we contact you at the Parks Department? Are there publications, or is there a website our viewers can go to?
Yes, you can definitely contact us through our email. You can go to parks@richmondindiana.gov, Indiana all spelled out. You can also call us at 983-PARK. We have our website up. It's www.richmondindiana.gov. And if you want to find us, you just click on departments and you'll find us under parks. And we also have, our Facebook page. We have our Twitter. We have our Instagram. And we have our monthly mailing list that'll keep you up to date on everything that we know of that's going on that will be beneficial for you and your wellness.
Oh, I know our viewers are going to take advantage of that. Alicia, thank you for joining us today on The Next Page.
Thanks for having me.
Hello and welcome to the Birth to 5 segment of The Next Page. I'm your host, Jim Cohen, Executive Director at Birth to 5. In the past, we've mentioned that Birth to 5 is an umbrella organization that hosts 2 different home visiting programs for preschool families in Wayne County. Today, our guest is Linda Irwin, who's the manager of the Parents as Teachers program at Birth to 5, and she's here to help us understand what Parents as Teachers does and who they serve. Linda, welcome.
Thank you.
Glad to have you
Thank
here.
you.
Before we get started, could you take a moment and give us a little bit about your background and your history with Parents as Teachers?
Sure. I was an elementary teacher for 10 years, and then I was a high school principal for a couple of years, and we moved to Indiana. I was visiting my daughter here in Richmond, and her parent educator came to visit and was doing a visit with my grandson. And it was just so exciting to see what she could do with them and the milestones that they were working on, and I said that's something I would like to do. So I became a parent educator, and then I became a program manager from there.
That's very interesting.
Yes.
Okay, so now tell us a little bit about the kinds of services that Parents as Teachers brings to preschool families here in the county.
Great. We have 4 parts to our program. The first part is the personalized visits that we offer. A parent educator will come out into your home, and we come out once a month from the time that you enroll until your child goes to kindergarten. Our goal is to help your child be prepared for kindergarten, and so we do activities that lead toward that. We know that you as a parent are their first teacher and their most important teacher, and so we want to support you in whatever ways we can do that. We also bring a developmental activity with us that helps along with the milestones that your child should be working on at that stage of life. We do screenings on a yearly basis and check the milestones and look for any areas that could cause a delay for your child, and then help with a resource referral so that we can take care of that before it becomes a delay, because we don't want that child to have to start school with any delays. We want them to be on the best page that they can be on for learning. We also offer group activities. We have play groups during the school year. We have 5 play groups in Wayne County that are located at different sites in schools and churches and different buildings. And it is open to anybody in Wayne County, even if you are not a Parents as Teacher family. This is a wonderful opportunity for your children to be able to play with other children, and the parents enjoy meeting other parents, talking about things that they're going through with their children. There is a parent educator present there, so she can answer questions and has research material to help with solutions for problems that the families may be having.
You mentioned before that one of the missions, or one of the focuses of the Parents as Teachers program is kindergarten readiness. Why is that so critical?
Because we want, when a child starts to kindergarten, for them to be on their best level, ready to succeed in their education. And if they start preschool and they've got a delay and they need to be pulled out of class for a speech therapy or a physical therapy, that's good for them. But if we can get that taken care of before they even get to kindergarten and not have to have those interruptions, then they have some uninterrupted time with their teachers in their class.
Okay, just so the folks at home have an idea, what kinds of things are we looking at in children today to say that they're kindergarten ready?
We're looking for them to match, like in puzzles when they're matching the pieces. We want them to know their letters. We want them to be able to cut, to do fine motor and gross motor activities. We're looking at all types of language activities that we work with to get them ready for that.
Okay. I know that Birth to 5 and Parents as Teachers specifically have a lot of partnerships and relationships with different organizations and agencies through the county. Why is that important to you?
It's important because if the family has a situation at home that they are lacking, that's going to interrupt the time that they have in working with their child. And so if there's a physical delay, a speech delay, if the family needs help with budgeting, we deal with home situations, they need electric turned back on, we have the resource referrals to help them with the things that they need so that they can get their focus back on their children.
So besides taking the Parents as Teacher services into the home, you become a resource for families in order to reach out into the community and get other support and guidance. Excellent. Okay. What's the importance of the developmental activities that you do?
When a child is born, their brain has a specific time of learning, and we call those open windows. And they need to learn that activity at the time that the brain is open for that activity. If they don't get it at the open window time, it doesn't mean that they won't be able to do it. It's going to be harder for them to complete that task. And the first milestone that we kind of look at, the open window, is attachment. When a child is born, a baby is born, we think just feed them, keep them clean, change their diapers, but there's more to that. They need the nurturing, they need the bonding with their parents, they need the secure feeling that they're going to be taken care of, that their needs are met. And by doing that, it's going to give them self-confidence as they grow up. And so they really need that attachment. If they don't have it at birth, they will be able to pick that up later on, but it's going to be harder for them to do that. Another open window that we really concentrate on is vision. We know that when a baby is born, their eyes don't work together, and they can't focus and they don't see details. And we need to work on that and make sure that their eyes are developing as they need to, so that they don't miss a part of that open window. If a child would have a cataract when he's 2 years old and the doctor took it off, everything would be fine. But if the doctor would delay and not take that cataract off until he was 5 or 6 years old, the surgery may go well, the eye would heal, but the child would still be blind in that eye, because that window has passed of when the brain and the eye work together to develop, and he would have missed that part.
So there's really, in terms of brain development and learning for children 0 to 4 or 5, there's two critical issues. One is mere stimulation, constant stimulation to help them develop new synapses and help their brain develop. But also, what sounds like is a very key issue is providing them with the right developmental opportunity at just the right time.
Right. That is important. And like I said, you know, it's not that they can't catch up with it, but that's when the brain is ready for that task and most receptive for that.
Wonderful. Okay. Okay. So tell me, who can benefit from parents as teachers?
Everyone can benefit from that. My daughter used a parent educator. Our parent educators who have children have parent educators. When you are in your home with your child 24 hours a day, we miss things because we become what's used to, what's common. How many times would my husband come home with his hair cut and I don't even notice, because that's just routine type things. But you just need a different set of eyes looking in there with that. I visited a family, very good family. They were right on target. The milestones were being completed. Everything was wonderful. And I asked the mother if she had noticed that the little boy leaned his head to the left. And she said no, she had never noticed that. It was probably just the way he was laying. So we picked him up and we put him in the high chair, and he continued to lean his head to the left. And the next day she took him to the doctor and called me and said that it was torticollis, that it was the tightening of the nerve muscles, and that it happened because when she was pregnant, he was a larger baby and he didn't have room to move his neck around, and so his muscles had gotten tight.
I see.
And so the doctor said with physical therapy they could take care of that, but in a month or two later they would have had to do surgery on the nerve muscles. And it's not that she was negligent in anything, but she just didn't notice that he was leaning his head to one side.
Very interesting. Linda, if I were to come with you on a home visit, what kinds of activities might I see you engaged in?
Okay. A home activity for a baby would be the parent educator comes in, talks to the family, sees what their parenting skills are, sees what kind of questions they might have on development, and then we would talk about tummy time and how important tummy time is, that the baby lay on his stomach 5 or 10 minutes every day so that he could raise his head, strengthen his muscles, help him in rolling over. And so one of our activities would be to bring an exercise ball and lay the baby on the exercise ball with our hand on his back to support him and kind of let him roll. It's a different feeling than laying on the floor, different texture, but he'd still be raising his head, strengthening his neck muscles.
Very good. Okay. Now, you mentioned before that one of the big things that Parents as Teachers does is holds play groups out in the communities and book buddies programs. Now, you mentioned there's 5 play groups a week. Now, that's every week during the school year, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then there are also 6 book buddies programs throughout every month, and those are themed programs, and of course they're open to the public, and we welcome the public to come. How can people find out what our book buddies and playgroup schedule is?
Perfect question. The best thing that you can do is mybirth5.org on the computer. That is our webpage. It tells you what's going on with Birth to 5. It shows you who our employees are, so that if you had a parent educator coming, you'd know what she looked like. If you click at the top of it, it says groups, and it will tell you where the play groups are and what time they meet, and our book buddies, and it has the calendar for the next 9 months on it.
Wonderful. Well, Linda, I want to thank you very much for coming and visiting with us today in our studio and our audience at home. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all for joining us, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the next page.